So
have more kids and then the hand-me-downs, that's one answer.
Yeah, well, I've only got one, but I've heard that once you have two, it feels like you've got 100.
Yeah.
You know, so, because they start pulling you in separate directions, and I guess once you've got 3, you're outnumbered, and then 4 means you have to buy a new car. So like,
True.
How many have you got?
2.
Just stop there. Hi, my name is Sindy Sinn, and I'm a local Newtown-based, Sydney-based Australian illustrator, artist, mural artist, whatever you want to call that. I've been doing this a while, and my background was originally in like working with bands and doing gig posters that took me way too long to draw, and over time the bands got bigger and the bands started introducing me to bars, and over time the bars got bigger and the bars started introducing me to brands. I've been very, very fortunate to be surrounded by creative, talented, successful people who've allowed me to do artwork for them and with them, and I'm a lucky boy in the right place at the right time, surrounded by great people. It's taken about 10 years to kind of develop my kind of style, my art style. Like, it's kind of evolved from being sort of quite detailed and stippled and complex to finding this kind of new style that I quite like, which is just like confidence in simplicity. Like, how can I make the statement just as loud but with less on the page? I've been very lucky that my style suits collaborating with someone else's brand, someone else's message, whatever it might be, and getting to do kind of my spin on it. But it's sort of halfway between us, you know. It's like my style, but fully appreciating, you know, who I'm working for. So if it's a band, I'll listen to the last album or a couple of albums, or I'll watch the music videos. I try and pick up little, you know, bits of imagery, or I try to kind of visualize it all. So I do a lot of research into who I'm working for to make sure that it's clever. You know, it can't just be another skull. You know, it's got to be, you know, how do I make this clever or funny or smart or stand out or different to the last thing I did or whatever. Let's talk about the great bin chicken apology. So it's tongue-in-cheek, right? So it's obviously, we all know the Aussie icon, the ibis, the bin chicken, the hellhawk, the rat raven. The brief for this one was to basically address the fact that the HelloFresh meal kits produce less food waste, which means ultimately less food scraps for our very lovely, friendly bin chickens. There's a stat that I found out as part of this that's 62% of Australians think that the ibis is an Aussie icon. The first part is like, let's look at some ibis. Let's sort of break down like how the bird looks and what it, you know, how to draw it and how to put that together shape-wise. But then obviously to get into the HelloFresh message, I was like, cool man, how do we make it? How do we make this ibis look hungry? I want him to look mad. So drawing the ibis is also like a thing where you don't want it to look like just a sad bird or another bird. I didn't want it to look like too cartoony or too, I wanted to find the nice little happy ground between being like a rad mural, a rad piece of artwork that also kind of suits the message. It was nice working on this project with them, because to know that what we were putting out there was not just about an ad. It was about creating a cool artwork that supported a cool message, that actually did sort of support that, hey, we should be cutting down on some of this stuff. You know, food waste is a thing that we should all be doing better about. That obviously I was happy to get behind. I think we should all get behind, and that the fact that HelloFresh is just picking one thing that they can work on and how that affects the environment around us, I'm all for it. I think it's great. I'm very happy to be here. It was rad to check out the space. Always happy to talk about this campaign. I think it's great. Please go and check out the mural. It's going to be at the Lord Gladstone for a little bit. Man, I love being here. Love Happy Mag. Thank you for having me. While I was painting, a guy came along and he told me that he has a property and he loves the ibis because they come and eat the funnel web spiders. I did not know that they ate funnel webs. If you saw an ibis flying along and you knew that that thing was filled with funnel web spiders, doesn't that just make it more terrifying?
Yeah.